ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपात्तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वैष्णव की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, everybody can be on mute. Thank you. Okay. So, this is the first time I am speaking on the Ram Navami. Are you able to see me? I am seeing a blank screen.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm first time speaking. Please bless me so that I can speak, which will benefit, purify me, and it will benefit all of us. Thank you. So first of all, let us understand what is Ramayana means, what it entails, or what it is instructing from the word Ramayana itself. There are many meanings Acharyas explain, but one meaning I could literally take it, which is very meaningful, and it can help if we can implement that. So Rama and Ayan. Ayan means just like if we have Uttarayan, Dakshinayan, when sun is entering into right now in Uttarayan, when the Sankranti happens. So sun is rotating in 6 months in Uttarayan, 6 months Dakshinayan. So same way, Lord Rama, in one meaning of Ayan is traveling or journey, but another meaning also, just like the sun is giving its rays and more time during the Uttarayan, whichever is in the Uttarayan direction, those places will get more daylight time. So here it is basically inferring that one who follows the throughout the year 365 days, not just one day, not just 1 week of Ramayana, Ram Navami, but throughout the year, taking the imprints, taking the footprint, taking the examples, the principles, the characteristics which is laid out by Lord Ramachandra through Ramayana must be followed. Padachna, following in the footsteps of Lord Ramachandra. That is the main very introspective meaning of Ramayana, one of the meaning of Ramayana, which we can take and apply it, so that can benefit, that can purify our soul and being close to Lord Ramachandra. So with that, Mangalam Kausalendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam. Let there be auspiciousness in everyone's heart in this whole world. So that is the Ramayana. Now coming to the, we are, so even still Prabhupada has mentioned, I will give a few still Prabhupada's comments also as we discuss. So Prabhupada has also mentioned to one of the devotee in 1975, Dinanath Mishra in Laguna Beach. Prabhupada has mentioned, I have a great desire to translate Valmiki Ramayana. Ramcharitamanas already translated by someone, but I would like to really translate if I get time. So just like Srimad Bhagavatam, I want to translate this. So in that we can understand still Prabhupada's mood. And he also mentioned, I wish to build a temple for Lord Ramachandra by the mercy of Lord Ramachandra. And we could see that in Juhu we have Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, and we will hear those more pastimes from His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. In the May 1st week we have his class, so I had asked him to narrate that, how that installation has happened, what Srila Prabhupada has instructed. So that is one of the significance. And also another place where Srila Prabhupada during the morning walk, Prabhupada has instructed when somebody asks the question, all the devotees, whoever is there as disciples and devotees in the ISKCON, are they all devotees of Radha and Krishna? Then Prabhupada mentioned, not necessarily. So some, just like in Chaitanya Leela, we see that Murari Gupta and a few others, Rupa Goswami's brother and others, are the devotees of Lord Ramchandra. So it could be. So it is a Sankirtan movement. So many devotees. And then we also see from the Krishna book, and also we see from Chaitanya Charitamrita, as we, so I'm starting where Simhasa Prabhu left off, beautifully explained about this, how Jatayu has saved, Jatayu has actually stalled Ravana to take Sita away. He tried his best to the best of his abilities. So that from that's where I will start. But before that, where did that happen? It has happened in Dandakaranya forest. Before that, Lord Ramchandra, when he went to the exile, 14 years, 11 years, he is in Chitrakoot, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And then when after Bharat came there with his army, so that happened. Then he left 11 years or so, some few months. From there he left, and then he started traveling to Dandakaranya forest. This Dandakaranya forest is there in various places, all the way from Uttar Pradesh and especially in the Nashik, Maharashtra, touching Andhra Pradesh also throughout the bank of Godavari, and some parts of Karnataka also, where we see Hanuman's birthplace is there, Anungedi, or I forget the other name. So in this way, we see the wonderful places of this Dandakaranya throughout this. Nashik is one of the main places, Panchavati. In some places, and we also see Bhadrachalam, which is in South India, Andhra Pradesh. That is also part of Dandakaranya forest, where we see Parnasala and other beautiful places, and obviously the temple. There is another pastime to it, but where we see from Valmiki Ramayana is the main Panchavati. Nashik is mentioned, Bhadrachalam is not mentioned, Panchavati was not mentioned, but it could be from some other Manvantara or some other yuga also. But it definitely that is also authentic place. So now coming back to this is in Aranya Kanda. I will also recite. First we will start with the 1 minute. We'll start with the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 10, verse number 12, where Prabhupada is here, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj about the Lord Ramachandra's pastime, where he is talking about the Jatayu. Dugdvatma Kriya Hata Krutyam Ahan Kabandam Sakyam Vidaya Kapibir Daita Gatim Ta Budvata Valini Hate Plavagendra Sainyer Vela Magatsa Manujo Aja Bhavachit Angri. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vijay. Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, has assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kabanda, and after making friends with monkey chiefs, killing Vali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. So now we understand. So both those characters will cover personalities. Jatayu, Kabanda, and Jatayu also has brother Sampati. So we'll cover those topics. We'll see how much time is there. And then we also see the Dandaka. This is in Aranya Kanda. There are 6 Kandas or 7. So in that Aranya Kanda is one of them. After the Bala Kanda and the Ayodhya Kanda, this is in Aranya Kanda. Then we see Kishkinda Kanda. We'll be touching on Aranya Kanda and Kishkinda Kanda. So here Aranya Kanda means where also it means Lord Ramachandra, as he is entering into Dandakaranya, he wants to eradicate the negative things, negative aspects, as because many of the sages, Aranya means also tranquility, peacefulness. When Vishwamitra walked into Dasarath Maharaj asking for Lord Ram, sending Ramachandra with him to kill the demons, then Dasarath Maharaj asked, and so how is everything? In a way, Prabhupada explains that Punarjanma Jayaya, one who can, were you able to control the birth and death? That's what, when they are in the forest of Aranya Kanda means, These sages are trying to conquer this birth, death, old age, and disease, going back to Godhead. That is the main aim of. If that is being obstructed, that's why Aranyakanda means where this is very, very important kanda actually. Lord is trying to remove all the negative aspects from our hearts. When one who takes his shelter, one who surrenders, then Lord will be able to remove those impurities and the various demons like we see in this Aranyakanda mainly. So yeah, that is the one, that is the one of the meaning. There would be other meanings also. So now, the where we are entering into the Jatayu. First time when Ravana, Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana met Jatayu, this is in 1 minute. So before that, all these examples of what we see in Ramayana, especially in the Aranyakanda, whether it's Jatayu or Sampati or Hanuman or Kabanda, various other parts, especially Jatayu, Hanuman, and Sugriva and Vibhishana, these four personalities, it is basically instructing us that how to become an instrument in the hands of the Supreme Lord. Nimitta matram bhava sabhyasajin, just like Arjuna became instrument. Means they all felt that they are not the doers. They just simply they did a selfless service just to please the Supreme Lord. They want to be the servant. They don't want any credit. They don't want to even they are not feeling that I am the savior. I'm savior. I have given this to the somebody or given help this devotee, that devotee. No, they're not thinking actually. They are thinking I'm always a menial servant. I don't have any qualification. That's how they are thinking, all of them. So that is one of the important instruction for us to take and implement in our life. So Jatayu was introduced as a friend of Dasarath Maharaj. So this is in chapter 14, Sarga 14, verse number 32. So where he is giving his introduction of how he is the son of Aruna, who is the charioteer of sun god. So Vinata had two sons, two of them. One is the Garuda and another one is Aruna. So the Aruna sons are Jatayu and Sampati, where it is explained beautifully in verse number 32 in chapter 14 of this Aranyakanda. Kadru Naga Sahasram tu Vijagne Dharani Dharan Dvau Putrau Vinatayatu Garuda Aruna Evacha. Then the next verse is Tasma Jatas Aham Aruna Sampati cha mama agrajaha Jatayur iti mam vidhi Sheni putram Arindama. Oh Lord Arindama, over the killer of the enemies of the enemies. So I am the son of this Aruna, Sheni, which is sun god's charioteer. That's why Sheni. I am the son of that. So Jatayu. So in this way he is giving that introduction. And he is also mentioned, I am the friend of Dasarath Maharaj, your father. So in this way, he has given a beautiful introduction in this chapter. And then how did Lord behave? This is another important instruction. Lord behaved, he hugged as soon as he heard this introduction that he is the friend of Dasarath Maharaj. So he hugged Jatayu. Not only that, he bowed with his head down like this. As Lord is showing by his own example how to treat, how to respect the elders. And I'm grateful for my mother teaching from my childhood about Lord Ramachandra. We were worshipping Radha and Krishna at home, and she used to teach me these verses. That's how I know this Mangalam Kausalendraya, Rapada Mabhaktaram Dataram Sarva Sampada Lokaviramam Sri Ramam Vyo Vyo Namam. So take shelter of Lord Ramachandra. That's how my mother used to instruct me. So here, so the further we see that Jata is in the next chapter where Ravana comes and kidnaps Mother Sita. So this is in chapter 14 where Jatayu is trying to basically stop Ravana. So yeah, there are many instructions from this. I think everybody knows Jatayu personality. But one instruction we see, Prabhupada talks about it in 799 of Srimad Bhagavatam from Narsingha Prahlad Charita, where he's talking about the qualification of a person who wants to serve. What is the qualification? It is just like Gajendra. What was his qualification? He is giving this, explaining. Manye dhanavijana rupa tapasrutaujas teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yoga na aradhanaya uh, na aradhanaya bhavanti parasya pumso bhaktyat dosha Bhagavan gajayota paya. That means neither your influence, neither your beauty, neither your strength or power, aristocracy, none of them will help. Only bhaktyat dosha Bhagavan. Only by simply your surrender, selfless, you want to please the Lord by your service attitude. Only with that. And that's what Prabhupada says in that purport. That in any condition, devotion service shouldn't be stopped. In any condition, devotion service should always continue. Doesn't matter whatever condition, a tiring situation, any condition, any complex situation also, we should never stop. Just like Jatayu. So Prabhupada is quoting, just like Gajendra. So this should be our situation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining in the sixth ashtakam also in the last few verses. So no matter what, even Krishna leaves me, Krishna tramples me, still I want to be always the servant of the Supreme Lord, always under the shelter. So that is the mood here, Prabhupada explains. So fight, never mind if you are defeated. Krishna sees the service, sees the devotion. Another instruction is fight against the Maya. Especially they are seeing the internal senses, we have to fight against our internal senses, internal mind. Many times we go through various, anarthas, mind and senses are dragging us in so many different directions. So I cannot do this or I cannot do that. And also external senses, Maya is also forcing through different allurements, different, we feel deficient. But here we can see from the example of the Jatayu that he could fight against Maya like anything. And then Jatayu is also fought, to protect the mother Sita, just do his service. And also it is mentioned, don't hesitate to do service as a servant. So despite any difficulties at any situation, whether it's a corona or whatever the situation may be, we have to go through in life. And don't think that you are the savior. Think always as a humble servant. And always ask for forgiveness. Here, when Jatayu was fought valiantly with Ravana, actually, he killed, Jatayu killed actually with his wings and beak itself, killed the charioteer, killed even the ass with the demon-like face. He killed, and he was able to remove the mukut of even Ravana. He was able to obstruct all his, whatever arrows, whatever things he released, everything was, nothing could obstruct actually Jatayu. Jatayu could forcefully fight even though he didn't have any weapons. 60,000 years old, he was telling in his narration in the previous chapter in this Aranyakanda. 60,000 years, that much old he is. And he actually told Dharma, what kind of person are you? What did Lord Ramchandra do to you? Why are you taking, he didn't come to your kingdom, he didn't take away anything. So why are you taking away? And you are protecting your wife. If somebody puts their hands on your wife, are you not protecting? Then why are you trying to take away, putting hands on somebody else's wife? So many different ways he is giving the morality, he is giving the dharma of the Shastra. And then finally he tells, if you don't follow this, you are going to be killed, vanquished. The whole, your dynasty, your Lanka will be vanquished. So you better give Mother Sita, leave Sita and go. But he doesn't listen, obviously, he's the demon number one. So here, then he basically fights valiantly with Ravana. Ravana finally leaves with only his sword. Everything is gone. All his gada, everything. That's how much he was able to fight, even though he is so old, Jatayu. And then finally, Ravana gets down. He was able to even scratch on his back with his beak. So he gets really upset, becomes very angry, and then gets down from his chariot, and then finally takes his sword and chops off his two wings, and basically then he falls down, Jatayu. Then he flews off, Ravana flews off. So when Mother Sita also hugs, when he gets down, then Mother Sita hugs Jatayu It is mentioned in this Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana. So this is now in this way. So the further instruction. Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to mention even in the last stage when Jatayu was this has happened. Then Ravana leaves. And then when Lord Ramachandra comes in and then sees Jatayu in this condition, then what Jatayu says generally when we are about to die or when somebody not when somebody is about to die, what will be our situation? Generally, when we are in difficulty, not only death, any difficulty, we'll try to see how we can come out of that difficulty. We'll think about ourselves. But here, Jatayu, see her condition. She is telling, she is giving the nice, beautiful words, telling Rama that I was not able to do. I'm not able to do best of my ability, do service. Now it is the right time, win the time. Whatever you are losing, you are going to get back Mother Sita. Actually, that was one of the purpose. One of the acharyas saying that is one of the purpose. There, otherwise Punarvasu time is coming. That is inauspicious. This Vinda time is auspicious. So he is waiting for that time. So he wants to fight. He knows exactly that he cannot fight with Ravana. The one reason also to fight. Otherwise, he could have just stayed there and waited until Ramachandra comes that Ravana has kidnapped. You could have told. But rather, he wants to stop the time so that when the auspicious time for Lord Ramachandra comes, then till that time he is able to fight. Then that's when actually this happens. Then Ravana leaves. Then Lord Ramachandra walks in. Then he tells, "This is the auspicious time. Don't worry. You are going to get back what you lost, Mother Sita." In this way, he is even that time he is dying, but he is consoling. So that is a beautiful part. So that means we can understand even till the last stage is trying to serve by uttering sweet words to the Lord without expecting anything in return. So this is the characteristics, the quality, the eagerness, the patience, the determination, the devotion. So he could able to see the darshan of the Lord. How many of us were able to get the darshan of the Lord? And he could die in the hands of the Supreme Lord, Lord Ramachandra. And Lord has what the Lord said. This is more painful than even losing Mother Sita. That's what Lord has said. Intense devotion, what Jatayu had. So this is the quality we need to learn. Selfless surrender, completely, fully surrendering, serving to the best of the abilities. And another Acharya also has mentioned that when Vibhishana was coronated, Lord Ramachandra was crying. Then one of the Acharyas is saying, Lord Ramachandra was thinking, I have given Sugriva, when Sugriva came to surrender, then I have given his kingdom, Kishkinda, because Vali and Sugriva, both were the sons. Son God actually gives the promise. When Hanuman asks, what Guru Dakshina you want? And he says, okay, protect my son, Sugriva. So always take care of my son Sugriva. That is in one of the pastime. Anyway, so here we see that Lord Ramachandra, when obviously kills Vali, then he tells Sugriva, he gives his kingdom, he installs him, he basically coronates him, puts the Suvarna Kireet and coronates him, Sugriva. And then next time we see that Vibhishana, he also coronating Vibhishana, gives the Lanka and then giving the basically Suvarna Mukut. And then the Lord is crying by seeing it. But for both of them, I was able to do something. But here, Jatayu has given everything. Neither I'm able to give the kingdom or Suvarna Kireet. Nothing I am able to do. She was crying, seeing this situation. I couldn't do anything. So this is so we can see how Lord wants to always glorify his devotees. Lord wants to always thinking about his devotees. Very sensitive. We see the same thing. These forest pastimes are beautiful, amazing. If you read Krishna book, there also Prabhupada explains beautifully that when Krishna left the day when Brahma stole all of them, that day early in the morning he told generally, very early in the morning, let's all go to picnic. They all went. So during the picnic itself, Krishna is very careful, very sensitive. Each and every cowherd boy, what his needs are, everything. So Lord Krishna was watching everything all the way. So even when Brahma stole also, we know that how he expanded. So this is the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, how he is always sensitive and is always reciprocating with the loving feelings of these devotees. And we also see that from Chaitanya Leela that how where Prabhupada is mentioning Dandakaranya forest, another instance. These sages in Dandakaranya was thinking about the Lord, seeing the beauty, attracted by the Lord Ramachandra's beautiful nature. That is where it is mentioned. Sriraghavam Dasaradatmajam Apramayam Sitapatim Raghukulanvaya Ratnadipam Ajanubaham Aravinda Dalayataksham Ramam Nisachara Vinasakaram Mamam. So Aravinda Dalayataksham, he has the lotus, beautiful eyes. So by seeing his attractive beauty of the Lord, they immediately thought of the cowherd girls of Vrindavan, that pastime. Then immediately, as they desired in that way, then Lord Ramchandra didn't say anything. He was silent. They want to actually hug, embrace in that mood, not as a sage. So immediately Lord didn't say anything, but indirectly granted that boon. So all of them, these sages in Dandakaranya, we are thinking in that way. Then they all appeared in Lord Krishna's pastime as the gopis, either the direct gopis or indirect. There are direct gopis who are directly exchanging rasa with the Supreme Lord. In the indirect gopis mean those who are not directly exchanging but hearing the pastimes regularly, how Lord Krishna dealt about the Rasa Leela, about different exchanges of gopis directly with the Lord Krishna, one in the Vrindavan or in the Dwaraka. So this way, this is also another Dandakaranya's forests, another example. So we also see that Lord Balaram also went to Dandakaranya forest. Lord Nityananda Prabhu also went to Dandakaranya forest. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went in Madhya Leela chapter 9, it is explained 3:11 to 3:13, where he went to Saptatala, 7 palm trees. He embraced them and he liberated them. When they were cursed, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them. He went to this Nasik, he went to Panchavati, where this happened, where actually Lord Ramachandra met Jatayu. And then later on, when Jatayu fought with Ravana, that could have happened in different places, going through different places. So, I'm not sure, but at least they met at Panchavati, where Lord Ramachandra stayed at the Panchavati. That's all explained in Ramayana itself. So, this is about the Jatayu. Then obviously, Lord has performed the funeral rites, the ceremony for Jatayu himself, personally by the Lord. And then obviously Lord Ramachandra asked Jatayu, can you tell me about this, the enemy, how his strength is, how he looks, and what has happened, how did this happen? Then obviously he could tell only to some extent, at least he indicated, son of Vishrava and brother of Kuvera. He couldn't tell Ravana by the time he passed away. But before that he tells his strength to some extent. And then he leaves at least. And then he tells about go in southward direction. Then Lord Ramachandra started going in southward direction. 14th chapter, 50th verse number 27. Avasyam tu manya karyam priyam tasya mahatmanah jintena api ramasya tata dasarathasya cha. But I must definitely accomplish something to forestall you till they come, for I cannot willingly depart from here to fetch any of 2 brothers, and that I must do shall be agreeable to great Lord Ramachandra and Dasarath Maharaj, even at the sake of my life. This is when he was fighting, he was telling about Dharma to Ravana. So Jatayu is telling, I must stall you from taking Mother Sita at any cost, even at the sake of my life. So that is his devotion, intense devotion. So then when he has heard about, then Lord Ramachandra heard about the southward direction, immediately he started going in southward direction. Then he enters into Krauncha forest. Actually in America also, so where we live, USA, it is also called Krauncha Dvipa. Like we see Jumbo Dvipa, at least I don't know the whole US, or at least Florida, I am 100% sure, Krauncha Dvipa. Whether New Jersey is in the Krauncha Dvipa or not, But this Krauncha forest is different from this. I just want to say that as I remember. So this is in Krauncha for very deep. So much ferocious animals are there. This forest where Kabanda was living. This is another demon. Actually, later we see that how actually it was also a curse. This Kabanda demon was also how he became like that because of the curse. So then as he was walking, then he hears huge noise. Before that, also actually Lakshmana was actually approached by another demoness. I forget the personality's name. Uh, then if the demoness wants to marry Lakshmana, then immediately, obviously, Lakshmana cuts ears and earrings. Then basically scares him away. Then he runs off. The demoness. And then this happens. Then they both Lord Rama and Lord Lakshmana is about to go further. Then Kabanda sees this. Kabanda has a long, very long arms because he was cursed by a Stola Sarira Rishi, and also before that Indra. Indra curses him that his head is not there. Head is in the stomach. And then when he was laughing at the seeing this Stola Sarira sage, then he cursed him that you will not be able to actually you will not have mouth to eat. So the way he got different curse that he doesn't have head, he doesn't have mouth. Then by being repentant, then the Lord demon is Surpanaka. No, not Surpanaka. Not Surpanaka. This demon is different. This demon is different. I will tell you. I have written. Uh, I have written as we will have to see. I have written, but anyways, so let's discuss as we go through. We'll be able to find it. So the discuss. Yeah, Kavanda basically, yeah, caught hold of Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana. One hand Lord Ramachandra, one hand Lakshmana. So yeah, by the curse of this Sula Sarira, his head is not there. His mouth is in the belly, on the stomach, because he has to eat. So because of his repentance, somehow or the other sage has given. So only his hands are too long. So very long hand. So with those two long and very strong hands. So with that, so he was able to capture Lord Ramachandra in one hand and Lakshmana in another hand. You can imagine how much strength he has. So then Lord Ramachandra, Lakshmana is telling, oh Lord Rama, so you escape from here and go and save Mother Sita. Somehow or the other, even maybe I may die, but at least you go and try to get Mother Sita. So, but the Lord Ramachandra, then finally at last they was able to see that they tried their best, but they are not able to come out. Then they could understand that this demon, the strength is in the arms, because rest there is not much body, headless torso. That's why it's called Kabanda. So he was cursed by Indra and cursed by this another sage, Stola Sarira sage. So then finally, Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana took their swords and able to cut off these two hands. They could understand. Then Kabanda told, so basically you put me on fire because I was cursed like this. I could understand now you are not ordinary persons. Then please put me on the fire, and then I will be able to regain my original form. Actually, he is the Viswavasu. Viswavasu was his actual name. So then he regained his form, and then he explained the way you go is you have to go to Pampa River. Pampa River. From there, you go to the Matanga Rishi's ashram. From there, then you meet Sugriva, make friend of Sugriva. It gives a beautiful instructions. By that, by taking their help of these Vanaras, because they are also innocent, you have to help Sugriva. He is in a difficult situation. By helping him, then they will be able to help you in getting Mother Sita, because they know this area, and that is the most difficult area. It is called Rishyamukha mountain. So that is also there. In this Pampa river is there near Tungabhadra. This is, I think, close to Karnataka, Hampi, close to Karnataka. So this, 1 minute, let me see. And now the instruction from this Kabanda, what we learn is basically, yeah, one thing also from this one thing from the Jatayu. So Prabhupada says, we can never repay a spiritual master. We can never repay a spiritual master. If you want a little bit, to some extent, we can do it by preaching. That's what Prabhupada says. And so that is also one of the important instruction. We should never think that we will be able to repay a spiritual master, and we should try to at least pay it back by try to do whatever way of preaching by distributing prasad or so in on the way when after this Jatayu, when Ravana takes basically Sita, Mother Sita, then Mother Sita drops her ornaments. In some places it is mentioned along with her upper cloth and this and that. But in Ramayana it's only mentioned the ornaments. And those ornaments, because Mother Sita sees on a mountain, these 4 or 5 Varanas are discussing. So those Sugriva and others. Mother Sita could be able to see. Then she thought, okay, they may be able to find these and help later on Lord Ramchandra. So finally they find these ornaments. So basically Sugriva finds these ornaments. So and then also when Lord Ramchandra sees Jatayu, then Lord Ramchandra also finds these flowers, flowers and footprints of Mother Sita. Then basically he meets Jatayu. So that we have discussed. Yeah. So now about the Kabanda's instruction. Yeah. Kabanda's first instruction is never give up, never lose hope. No battle is lost until the end, because Lord Ramchandra and Lakshmana was caught by this Kabanda with the 2 hands. They tried their best before they were fought, but the strength is so hard. Lord is teaching us actually. Lord can destroy all of them at within a moment. This is nothing. But Lord is teaching by his own example. So how to never give up while we engage in devotion, never lose hope. But try till the last moment, last breath. Continue your devotion service, continue your seva. No battle is lost until end. And then attack the strength and exploit his weakness, whether it's a business, whether it's our devotion service, whatever. Attract. So because they understood that his strength is in 2 hands. So that's why they attacked the strength. So we have to see also where our actual Maya strength is, where our weakness is. We have to see that the external Maya is forcing us, dragging us away from Krishna, away from spiritual master service. Again and again, day after day, we are constantly being reminded that we are this body, not the soul, but we are being constantly thinking of this body. So this is all the Maya's influence. Where exactly, which sense out of 5 Jnanendra, which sense is actually causing, distracting us more? These things we have to see, understand and attack those particular things under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master and Siksha Guru. So this is the instruction of the attacking the strength and exploiting his weakness. It is SWOT analysis, it is mentioned. We are discussing another meeting with our temple president. SWOT analysis. We have to understand the enemy. This is not just a business. This is not even, as we are going through COVID situation, we are trying to understand how we can improve our service to people, service to devotees. So that is SWOT analysis. We are trying to understand how we are able to do, how we are not able to do in some areas. So same way we have to do this SWOT analysis on our own devotional strength. Where is our strength? Where is the weakness? Where I am situated? Which part? How I am progressing? So all these we have to understand. If you want to progress, if you want to really attain the lotus feet of Krishna and the spiritual master, not necessarily where we are going to go and that is not immediate. Whether we are developed love, whether we are able to really, tears are flowing down while we are chanting. Tears are flowing down, crying for the service of Sri Prabhupada, crying for the service of Supreme Lord. That is not there, means we haven't perfected. So that's what we have to try. So that's why these instructions are main important. Story we can we all might have heard these stories. And then treat the enemy also very well. So now, because Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana treated very well, Kabanda is able to tell the actual what is helping Lord Ramachandra, where they have to go, which direction they have to go, where they have to take help. Actually, Kabanda was enemy, demon. So, but because when you treat the enemies, and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches that don't expect respect, give respect, even if it is enemy, even if you don't like a person, devotee, it could be any person, still you offer respect. There is nothing wrong. Spirit soul, super soul is there, even in the enemy. So while we are offering respects, that is what we have to think. That super soul is there. I am offering respects to the Supreme Lord as a super soul in that other person. So this is another lesson. Even if it is adverse situation, gives equal opportunity. So this is adverse situation also. That means we generally think, oh, if it is a difficulty, oh, why did Lord give? We curse or we really go, we lose our patience. But rather, we have to take this opportunity and see how we can, next time, how we can come out of these difficulties, how we can improve. Constantly, we have to see these difficulties as actually pillars to go to the next level. 54. The next is basically when the Pampa Lake, the Matanga Muni and Shavari. Maybe I'll quickly cover this stuff because otherwise there is no discussion time also. Let me see 1 or 2 minutes. Shavari is important personality. We have a lot to learn. In her previous life, she was a queen. She was thinking, she was very much dissatisfied and dispassionate about all the materialistic things. She was always trying to serve sages and saintly person, but she is not able to get. She is not able to go even out. So because of that, then in the next life she became like a hunter, born to a hunter. And then at the time of her marriage, then hunter started bringing so many different kinds of animals to give sacrifice and whatnot. Then by seeing that itself, hearing that itself, they immediately she ran away from that home of that hunter, and then she entered into forest. Then she comes to this trying to be under the shelter of one of the ashram of one of the sage, but nobody could take because she is a Sudra woman. Nobody could take. Only Matanga Muni could see her devotion, could see. Then he accepted her and then told her, you stay here, you serve, try to serve the Lord. So there we see that how to serve. Then what she used to do? She used to do in the night, early in the morning, before nobody wakes up, goes out, go to the Pampa Lake, because they all used to go to fetch water, take that water from Pampa Lake to serve the Lord. So she used to go out and then remove all the pebbles, stones on the path. She used to collect the flowers. She used to collect the water, everything nicely, and put in front of the Rishi's ashrams. So that means it is telling devotion service is internal. It is not to a showcase. It is not that I am chanting 64 rounds, I am doing this, I am doing that. Yes, if it is a Siksha Guru or advanced devotee or a friend, you are sharing one on one, that's fine. But this is not to publicize that I am doing this, I am doing that. This is not to publicize. This is what Sabra is telling them, because Matanga Muni asked, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it in the night time? Then she says, then Matanga Muni could understand her devotion as intensity. She doesn't want any credit. She doesn't want, because they think that she is a Sudra woman. They don't want anyway accept her service. So that way she doesn't want even, nobody knows, nobody should know that she is the one who is doing, and she just simply wants to serve them. That was her intention in the previous life also. So that's why she is continued to do in that way in this life also. So selfless service and devotion service is internal. And then be compassionate, help others, grow in bhakti. This is the way. She is cleaning the peoples. What does that mean? That means not only we are always thinking about how I can grow in bhakti, how I can grow my bank balance, how I can grow in my material life, my job, my this, my that, this home or this or that. But rather we should see how I can help others materially, whatever. Rather important is spiritually. How I can help others spiritually grow. How can at least be compassionate, be considerate, love the devotees. This is what she is teaching. Is by removing these obstacles, by removing these pebbles, stones. So just like we see all in Vrindavan also same way the cows and everyone is trying to make very nice things for the Supreme Lord's pleasure. Same way here also we see the selfless service of the Savari in this way, compassionate, helping others, grow in bhakti. And don't curse and don't criticize. Even though all of them are trying to curse, nobody accepted. She never cursed the Lord. She never cursed them. She never criticized any of them. She just simply went on with her devotion. So in this way, finally we could see that and remove others. By this, we will be able to grow in our bhakti. I think I have to stop here. So Lord Ramchandra finally meets her and then takes, even though she ate that fruits and gave that remaining fruit, which is Mahaprasad, but still, because she wants to make sure that they are sweet. Some of them generally is bitter, these fruit. That's why Lord Ramchandra immediately accepted. Even the Lakshmana was hesitant, but Lord Ramchandra said, no, the devotion. So obviously they accepted. With that, I'll stop here because Hanuman, I have to cover so many personalities, so many characters. Sampati, who has finally gives direction for all these Vanaras, how to actually get to Lanka, what should be the action plan. He gives main key details, who is the brother of Jatayu. So, at least I'll stop here. So, thank you very much for patiently listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any reflections, you can share so that we all can learn. श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जाय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय, गौर भक्तों की
Sure.
जाय.